All right, guys. Today we are talking to Duane Alexander. Duane, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What market are you from, and where do you live, and what do you do, and what markets do you do your investing in?
I live in Atlanta, Georgia, so that's my main market. But I do hop around in several other markets. Right now, I'm doing some deals in North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida. I've done deals in Virginia, Louisiana, things like that. Primarily, I wholesale, but I do kind of cherry pick a few deals to either flip or to hold myself. But primarily, I do a ton of wholesaling.
And then, how long have you been investing? How long have you been wholesaling for?
So I kind of started in 2020 during the pandemic, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So I don't really count that. I really tell people that I started last year about April.
Oh, wow. You're doing really good for somebody who's not even doing it for a year, I guess.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So I want to just ask you, were you using a system before you started using REsimpli, or REsimpli was your first CRM that you started using?
Yeah, so I started using REsimpli when I just was brand new. So yeah, it's the only CRM I really use.
Oh, cool, man. And what marketing are you doing? I know you're in a few different markets.
So in Atlanta, in my main market, I do a lot of PPC marketing, but I also have two cold callers, a texter, and I also have a lead manager as well. So pretty much cold calling and text is what we do in our virtual markets, but in Atlanta, we also do PPC.
What was your biggest worry or concern about, before you started using REsimpli?
Well, I would say the biggest reason why I started was because I just didn't understand how I was going to keep track of all these leads that were coming in, and REsimpli definitely helped with that. We started off small, just getting a few leads, but as we started adding more team members and we started getting more and more leads, I really started seeing the value of REsimpli because it just allowed us to be super organized and being able to keep track and stay on top of our leads and making sure that, nothing really fell through the cracks.
And what's been the most valuable feature that you have found in REsimpli?
This is going to sound super simple, but probably just the search feature. The search feature, I love the fact that, I can just click on a lead and then quickly be able to go to the next lead and the next lead, be able to quickly get a nice snapshot of, where we are on all of our leads. I really love the drip campaigns. I like how we can manage our numbers and keep things organized that way. I think kind of a undervalued part of REsimpli is the accounting piece of it.
That to me is the thing that brings everything together.
Yeah, that being able to really look at your business that way and to be able to see where your money's going to and how much you're getting out of marketing and things like that has been extremely valuable. So that, and it's so much. I honestly don't know what I would do without REsimpli. It's hard for me to really pinpoint what's the most valuable thing.
No, hey man, that's awesome. That's great. And no, what caught my eye was you mentioned in one of the Facebook posts was you've done 16 or 18 deals in last 6 months, and you mentioned you're getting a couple of extra deals a month using the drip campaign. So I want to learn a little bit more about that.
So yeah, I'm actually at about 21 deals now.
Awesome, man.
The drip campaign feature is key because it really simplifies your follow-up. Follow-up can be very, very, just tedious, having to call certain people, having to remember to call, text certain people. With the drip campaigns, especially how we do it, we may set up a drip campaign that may take place over the course of a year. Because we don't really do a lot of niche data. We target high equity, right? And a lot of those people that you talk to, they may not be wanting to sell right now, but eventually they're going to want to sell. So if we can touch them, every month or every 45 days or so, a lot of times those people on the 6th, 7th touch, that's 7th or 8th month, they'll come back and say, hey, I think I'm ready for an offer. So that's definitely been key for us.
Yeah, I'm the same way as you. We don't really go very niche on a list. Our thought process is if we buy a broader list and reach everybody, then everybody that was going to be on a niche list is going to be part of a broader list. And then for us, the key is consistently following up with the same lead over and over again. Because if they call you once, that means they have some interest in selling their property. And if you stay on the radar, then they would want to sell. That's awesome, man. And then how big is your team right now?
We have a team of 6. We have a part-time cold caller as well. So we have 6.
That's awesome, man. For someone who's been doing it for less than a year, like about 10 months roughly, and you've scaled it to consistently doing, that volume of deals and have that big of a team. I know a lot of investors that have been doing it for much longer than you, but they never get consistent with anything. So that's super impressive. And then is there anything else that like you've seen that has in REsimpli that has really made a big difference in your business? You mentioned about the accounting piece of it. With the accounting piece, what's been the some of the important KPIs that you've been able to track?
So I'll tell you one quick thing. Before using the accounting system, I've never did any kind of bookkeeping. So I was brand new. The important piece of it is just the ease of use of it. That's one thing I really like. It was very easy to pick up. And once I started really getting into it and keeping track of things and being able to input my receipts and my invoices and things like that, that was pretty key. And then the actual reports that you get back from it. But I really like keeping track of cost per deal. I like figuring out just how much money we're spending on things like PPC versus text messaging and cold calling, and being able to compare the number of deals that we get through those marketing avenues as well. And then we can adjust depending on, what's kind of like the cheapest marketing that we're doing. So that's been pretty key for us, being able to make adjustments based on those actual numbers.
Yeah, man, at the end of the day, that's really the most important is which marketing you're getting most of your deals from, and how much money for every dollar that you're putting in, how much money you're actually making into the business.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you know that, there's much better decisions that you can make.
Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just wanted to, bring you on for a quick call and just kind of, learn more about your experience. Anything else that you want to share?
I would just say, if you're looking for, a good CRM, I think REsimpli is one of the best ones you can get, because there's really everything you need is in there, and the user interface is just so simple. There's a lot of other things you can use, but to me, they're a lot more complicated. I used to be a software engineer, so user interface is very important to me because I want something that just makes sense. REsimpli definitely makes sense. Everything's pretty simple, and I couldn't recommend it enough.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, man.
All right, have a